league that they can sit at that head coach chair and feel great. I think I need to be in the classroom. For me to be most effective, I got to be sitting in that classroom and talking to the players and putting in, offense, defense, whatever it is. I need to be more involved. I need to be more hands-on. Now, look, I'm not going to call the offensive plays or anything like that, but I need to be sitting in those meetings with them, learning, and they can ask me a question, and you know what? I'll have the answer.
I agree. I think you are a defensive coach. We know that. We're talking with Rex Ryan, but I do think any head coach has to have a relationship with his and have a real feel with his quarterback. I think that's important. Now, I don't know if you do or you don't, but I mean, I think every head coach has to have that. I think the quarterback has to be an extension of the head coach. Do you have that?
Question.
Do you have that relationship with your with your quarterback?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And we can be brutally honest with each other, and we have been. There's times when we'll sit in here and we'll go at it. And I want his take. I want him to be there. There's a thing that I learned from Parcells. It was a time when he goes, he sometimes had that relationship to where it's like, okay, we can do anything to each other, say anything, do anything to each other, except we can't punch each other in the face. And I think that's the kind of relationship that I have with Mark. Has it worked perfectly and all that? No, it hasn't worked to where we wanted it to. There's no question about that. But I know we're built the same way. We're both extremely competitive, and we care greatly about this football team.
Will you be more careful with character with players now because of some of this stuff there's this idea, and maybe it's something that's a media creation, maybe it's not accurate, that you think you can coach anybody. Do you still think you can coach anybody, or do you have to be more careful with the kind of guys you bring in here?
Well, Mike, one thing for sure is that, there's I love the people that play in the National Football League. And are we all perfect? Absolutely not. There's not one person that's perfect. There's none of these guys. I don't care how great a character and all that. Not everybody's perfect. But what my job is to create a team, and that's the number one thing. And that's my strength, and yet I failed in that this year of creating that team that normally I create. Obviously, there were some problems that we had that maybe I never saw or saw it as the problem that it obviously.
Did you coach differently this year than the last 2 years, or was it just that the team this year was different than the last 2 years?
Well, I think the team clearly was different. I mean, we had 19, free agents when it all came down. We had 19 unsigned free agents when the whole collective bargaining thing was agreed upon. We had 19 unsigned free agents. I said that we would have loved to have taken that whole team, brought them back, and we would have just jumped from where we were. That was not it. I thought Mike Tannenbaum did a great job of giving us the players that we had. I really thought we could be successful despite losing a lot of terrific players. But I just think that I think I did coach differently. I think I tried to be more the head coach, sit in that head coach chair, when I know my strength, when I look back on it, my strength is really about building a football team and about getting in meetings and let's face it, the only thing that I do well in my life is coach football, and if I need to do that, I need to teach, and I think that's what I need to do more than anything.
We're talking with Rex Ryan. Rex, one thing that I think that either you haven't wanted to grasp or you haven't grasped that I think you have taken as criticism is that you have said, hey, I say what I feel, which I think everyone likes. I think the other part is I'm chasing a Super Bowl. Do you draw the distinction of everybody chasing a Super Bowl, but the difference between chasing it and guaranteeing you're going to win it in that given year and the pressure that puts on you and your team when you say, hey, I'm going to win it this year? Now, we all know everybody's goal is to win it every year. I mean, you got 32 guys. You should all be doing the same thing. But you have been very outspoken to say, I'm going to win it. Do you see the distinction in that, or you don't?
Well, yeah, I can certainly see it now. Because it's like every article, everything that we talk about is based on this.
is based on your guarantees.
Well,
I mean, this year
I know
you did.
exactly.
This year you guaranteed you were going to.
Right.
That puts a lot of pressure on a team.
Well, and see, my thing is, I thought it would put more pressure. It would put pressure on me. Clearly, when you have a team that went to back-to-back championship games, what else is there to go for? You know, it's to go for it's Super Bowl or bust. Well, we busted, and my thing about I guarantee that we get it done this year. I thought it was that the bullseye was going on my back, and on and that's fine. That's where I wanted to place it. And that's fine. That's why I'll take all the hits. I don't care. It should be on me. But what I really didn't anticipate, and when you read LT's comments and like I say, mentioning things, that I put added pressure on our players when I was trying to put pressure on myself. So that's something that obviously I have to learn from.
Well, I think the idea is, hey, we know you're trying to win one. That's what your goal is when you get together every year with your team. But guaranteeing one is something no one else does. I mean, no one else, very rare. I mean, there's two guarantees that live in law in New York. Messier's Game 6 against the Devils and Namath's game against the Colts. Those are the only two that live in New York history. I mean, that people, revere. You got to be very careful when you make those. I mean, because, they're cherished. When people say, I don't want to hear those anymore. He's made about 10 of them already. Patrick Ewing used to make them every week, and they used to fall through through the cracks. You're starting to have that kind of batting average with these things.
Well, I know one thing. It's a heck of a lot easier to guarantee one game than it is a whole season.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
There's no question about that. I will.
And I know you're confident. You think you're going to win these games. I understand.
But that's it. And to me, like, I truly believe in myself. I believe in the confidence I have is a belief in the people in this building, this entire organization. But and that's the truth. Like, what I said was that's what I truly believed in. I mean, I truly.
So in August, when you sat down, you believed that.
Absolutely.
Well, you missed by a lot this year.
I did. We never even made the playoffs.
I mean, so it looks comical. I mean, the team goes 8-8, and this was a pretty bad collapse at the end of the season. It really was. I mean, this team you could have won any of those games. I mean, not the Eagle game. You could have won a Giant game easy. You could have won the Dolphin game if things had broken right. The Eagle game was a little rough, but I'm saying the team really didn't play well down the stretch of the season, so it didn't have you back when it came to this year.
Well, I mean, we certainly didn't. We never earned it. That's exactly right. No question about it. And, are we off by a long shot? We never made the playoffs. So, absolutely, I was off. And like I say, I admit it. I absolutely do. I will never stop chasing that Super Bowl. I want to catch it. I want to get there. I've done it before. I know what it looks like. My family's been to 6 of them or something like that. I know what it looks like. And when I said that, I truly believed it. I truly believed that was our time, and it never worked.
Are you shaken by being so wrong? I mean, is your confidence as a coach or as the leader of this team shaken by you making that statement and then being so far off? Will that make you more careful, or will it not make you more careful?
Well, no, I think I'll look into it, before I make anything like that. I got to look at the entire dynamics of it, what I say, how it doesn't just affect me. I don't mind pressure being on me. In fact, I'm a guy that kind of strives on it because I've been the underdog all my life. And, sometimes when you look at it, it's like I know what motivates me, but it might not motivate our running back. It might not motivate our tackle. It might put more pressure on them than I even realized. So those are things that I certainly will look at. But for me, I can't wait. You asked me if I've been shook by it. No chance. I know how bad I want it. I know how bad I want it. The fact that this organization is stands behind me and things like that. I want it so bad for the entire organization, not just myself.
Are you close, or now are you a long way away from it? I mean, you were 2 years in a row. You were in the AFC Championship game. Right. Now you're a team that didn't make the playoffs. Do you need to make a lot of changes in your mind, or are you close? And this was just a blip on the screen.
Well, I think you got to look at it realistically. I mean, we were 8-8. It doesn't matter that we had gone to the championship game 2 years in a row. We were 8-8. That's what we're coming off of, and so that.
Do you think you need a lot? Do you think you need wholesale changes?
Well, I think we made some changes. Like it starts, when the coaching staff, I have to look at myself and change. But I think we're a very talented football team. I truly believe that. Each year there's different challenges. When you're putting together, you're putting your teams together. There's free agents. There's all this. But I'm extremely confident. And now, are we going to bat 1,000 on free agents that we bring in, on draft choices we bring in, people we let go? We're not going to bat 1,000, but I'll bet on this team of guys that we have. Obviously our GM, with Mike Tannenbaum, with Joey Klinksteel's running the draft, with all these guys. I just think we have a talented group of evaluators, and I know we can get this team back, and I can't wait to have at it.
All right, let me ask you. You played the Ravens. You know them well. You helped build them. You know the Pats well. You've been chasing them. You beat them in the playoffs last year when they were the 1 seed. What happens Ravens-Pats on Sunday?
This is what I believe will happen. Now, first off, the Ravens are going to win this game. The only way you beat
you think the Ravens are going to win this game?
Well, I'm saying this.
You think they're going to win? Okay.
Everybody here, I can tell you this: there isn't one Giant fan that wants me to say the Giants are going to win this game.
No, just tell me tell me the truth.
But
tell me the truth.
The truth is this: the only way you're going to beat New England is if you have a great defense. And when you look at the teams that won, now obviously Buffalo was the one exception. In 3 years, I'm talking about. Okay, the Giants had a great game defensively. They were able to get pressure on the quarterback, made plays in the back end. The Ravens have beat New England before with a dominant defense. Okay, we've beat the New England 3 times, but we did it create a different type of defense. He wasn't comfortable. I think there's only a few teams. Pittsburgh was more physical than New England. That's why they won. So the Ravens, in my opinion, are going to take a similar approach to how the Giants played them. And meaning that they're going to rush 4 guys on them. I truly think that they're going to rush 4. I think Terrell Suggs might be the difference in this game.
I would agree.
I don't know how many guys can block Terrell Suggs. I got the answer to none of them. So I think Suggs is going to be huge, but they've got to be physical. And the Ravens' offense does have to show up. They got to protect the football.
Will they be able to run it on the Pats?
I think they can move the ball on the Pats. I don't think there's any doubt. I think they can move it. And let's face it, I'm cheering for the Ravens. So,
all right, but you think the Ravens have a good chance in this game?
I think they do.
Okay. Do you have a thought? Have you seen enough for San Francisco to have a thought on the other game?
Well, I do. I think San Francisco is playing great defensively. Vic Fangio is a guy that worked with me for 2 years in Baltimore. He's done a great job with that defense. But I think the Giants, when you look at them, I think the Giants can throw the football, can move the football better against San Francisco, then San Fran's going to be able to move it against the Giants. The Giants statistically might have been like the 8th rated defense in the league, but they're certainly not playing that way. They're really
not healthy.
Well.
Now they got a pass rush with 4 guys. It makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference, and I just think that pass rush. When you watch the 49ers play against the Ravens, that pass rush of the Ravens ate San Francisco alive. I think the Giants are. I think they're going to take this game. I think Eli's hot. I like the fact that both their running backs are healthy. So it's going to be interesting. But I think you could be looking at the Giants and Ravens rematch.
I think we've seen that before. Now, how many times have you watched the Victor Cruz 99-yard play?
Too many times. And you talk about like when we played that game, that was
one of the biggest plays in New York history.
Yeah, no question. Because I think not only did it flip the game,
it flipped the game completely. It flipped. I think it flipped both seasons.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it was obviously a devastating play against us, and it was a huge play for confidence, for everything else, for the Giants.
So we should look for the same Rex, but a little different Jet team next year in style. That's basically it. You're going back to the running game with Sperano. A lot of the same players, same Rex, maybe a little different offense.
Well, I just think we are going to we're going to pour everything we got into this football team. I think the biggest thing you're going to see a team, and that's my biggest challenge, and I can't wait to get it going.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the interview. Thank you, Rex.
All right, Mike.
Take care. Rex Ryan, here's the Mink Man.